Hey, what's going on, everybody, and welcome back to another live stream. Hope you guys are all having a fantastic day today. Thank you all so much for taking the time out of your busy days to come hang out with me as I talk about all of the new comics that released this week. It was a huge week. I picked up 15 total issues, and I'm going to be honest with you guys, I missed out on a few as well. I think I missed out on 2 or 3 issues. I wasn't able to grab ambassadors from Image. My shop got really shorted on that one. I'm pretty bummed. I heard it was awesome. I'm really excited to give it a read. I was looking forward to getting Superman Lost issue number 2, but my shop didn't have number 1, so I couldn't grab that one. And then there was one more that I missed out on that I can't remember off the top of my head. Oh, it's Clear from Dark Horse. So 2 books that I was really looking forward to. Sadly, I couldn't get. But I got a hell of a stack for you guys to talk about. It was a pretty good week. I've got a few from Marvel, no DC, almost all indies. The indies, they annihilated it this week. Everybody in the house right now, what's good? We got Kale, what's up, buddy? John Spilios, what's up, what's up? Parker Criffon with John, what's up, man? Mr. Negative in the house. Everybody else, what's going on, guys? Like I said before, thank you so much for tuning in today. So if you are new to these live streams, I review all of the new comics that I picked up this week, and then at the end of the video, I go to the tier maker and I rank all of the books. Hey, Mark McGrath, what's up? Set notifications, not working at this time, so I'm home. Ah, man, sucks you're not working. I hope hope everything pans out for you. Or maybe you just got a day off, so... Let's see. My shoulder hurts from carrying a backpack. Man, it was a busy day. So, Marvel, we got Moon Knight, Carnage, Miles Morales, Spider-Man, somewhere's in this stack. There we go. Image, then, Chroma, series finale for that one. Boom Studios got a brand new one with The Seasons Have Teeth. Very interesting first issue. I'm not sure how exactly I felt about it, but it was probably going to continue on with that one. I mean, we got a brand new one from Image. We got the Giant Kaiju. Another brand new one, World Tree. I'm telling you guys, it was a great week for new comics. Phantom Road, Little Monsters, Children of Black Sun series finale for 8 Billion Genies. My goodness. Glenn Smith, what's up, buddy? William Marino, what's going on, man? And then AWA had theirs. AWA's was all right this week. You know how I feel about the spy espionage type books. All right, so what do we want to start off with first? Got 17 folks in the house. Just curious how if anyone... I was reading it, you guys like Damn Them All. So for Damn Them All, I didn't keep up with it. I read, I think, 2 or 3 issues. It was interesting, but to me, it wasn't good enough to keep going on with. If that is something that continues to be a good story to what everyone else thinks, it's probably something I would go back for with like a trade paperback or a hardcover, depending on how long they go with that series. But first couple of issues, it was just okay. All right. Gotta take my sip before we jump into this. I'm excited. All right, we're gonna kick this off with Marvel first. We're gonna go with Moon Knight. I'm gonna start off with Moon Knight because this was pretty much the only issue that I didn't like this week. So all these other ones, I've got pretty much only positive things to say about. I will say the Moon Knight series has been a lot better than kind of the middle pack issues. I think everything from like maybe around 12 to 18, somewhere around there. I thought it was a little bit boring, maybe even leading into the teens. I thought it was a little bit boring. It kind of went a different direction. It went more from like a detective mystery series. We had Moon Knight. He's just out in the streets. He's trying to solve crimes. He's trying to stop the bad guy, but not like a regular superhero story like Miles Morales or Spider-Man going out stopping the villain. It was more of who's behind it. Let's get to the bottom of this as a team. And I really love that about this series. Then it moved more into like the standard Marvel series where it's just Moon Knight out in the streets trying to stop the bad guys, trying to just take down the villain. It felt very generic, but we've kind of moved more into the beginning of the series, in my opinion. It's a little bit more like that mystery detective series that I really loved from the earlier issues. However, with this issue, I think I just saw it for Mark. Yeah, Tigra. Yeah, that's actually how I was going to introduce this. I was going to call it Tigra issue number 22. This, I see no Alex Ross cover. My shop didn't get the Alex Ross cover for this one. So... And technically, when I order the books, I always put down that I only want cover A, so I did order cover A, and I wasn't, based on how big the week was, I wasn't going to just get a bunch of variants. Maybe one day I'll go back and try to get some of the other ones, but the reason I really didn't like this issue is the last ones were great setups. They did a phenomenal job with it. This one, like Mark said, it's pretty much just to focus on Tigra. She gets into she has a conversation with Moon Knight in the beginning of the issue, and he's like, you need to go, I think his name's Midnight Man, you need to go figure out who the Midnight Man is, and she's like, okay, I got you, I'll go see what I can find. So the whole issue is kind of focused on her, and then there's a few little, I don't know, side love pieces that happen in this one. It was just an alright, it wasn't that great of an issue. I was going to call it alright, but it really wasn't that good in my opinion. As far as action goes, we did get some action, nothing too crazy, but this is what I'm talking about. Like, a little bit of artwork. It really is just to focus on Tigra. She brings her son into it a little bit more. A little bit more stuff happens between Moon Knight and Tigra. Oh, that's a spoiler. I'm not going to do that one for you. I'll go back to the earlier. See, that's what I mean. She brings her son into the mix, and that's pretty much what we get out of this issue. It really wasn't anything special. In my opinion, you learn a little bit at the very end. That's pretty much it, though. I feel as though if you missed out on this issue, I'm sure you could probably pick up number 23 and have a complete understanding as to what's going on. The only thing you're going to need to check out is the last, 2 pages for that one. But now we got that one out of the way. I'm telling you guys, seriously, this stack right here, these were all fantastic. We're going to get through all of these. Anytime you guys want to talk a little bit more about a book, just let me know. We can go a little bit more in depth with it. I tend to do my best to steer away from spoilers. Obviously, there's going to be spoilers in this video, just a heads up to you guys, but I try to limit it, and the spoilers I do talk about is just kind of the basis of what the issue is about. I don't really get into the in-depth stuff with it. Let's see. Oh, gotcha. That's talking about Damn Them All. So the next one, Joshua Ramo. Probably Romo. I never read Invincible. We were actually talking about that on Tuesday's live stream. I have the first compendium, but the way that I really like to read my books, outside of the week-by-week new comic book day stuff, I really like to do it all at once. I've been doing that with Power Rangers. I'm very slow right now. I've kind of taken, not a hiatus from reading, but it's a little bit more of just, I'm doing reading some other stuff. So I didn't get caught up in the Power Rangers just yet, but Invincible, I'm going to get the second and third compendium, and I'm going to read it all at once. Let's see. Hi, R, can you tell me if there's a comic called Sanity that's coming out? If it's the one I'm thinking of, it's the one that's done by Swaggle House Comics. I'm pretty sure that's the name of his comic. I can look that up really quickly. Let's see. Because I know he's been posting stuff about it. Yeah, Sanity. In case if anyone is interested, I'm not going to bring it up on the big screen, but can you even see that? There we go. Yeah, Sanity, Swaggle House Comics. That's his little comic that he's come out with. I'm really excited for it. I hope it's good for him. Let's see. Greetings from the UK. Your eye looks sore. Hope it's okay. Oh, dude, I got into a fight trying to get all these damn books, man. You should have seen it. It was wild at the comic shop. Everyone's going crazy over that Spider-Boy or Spider-Man number 7 for the Spider-Boy. No, I wish that was the case. No, I got a little eye infection going on. I'm got to get that sorted out, but I appreciate you asking about it. What's better? The Invisibles by Grant Morrison. Is it better? I've never read that one either, but I know everybody loves Invincible. Let's move on to the next one, though. We got Carnage issue number 12. Another really good issue of Carnage. I'm a big fan of this series. I talked about last time I was a little hesitant with Alex Pack-Nadal taking over. I thought, Ram V's doing a killer job. He's really setting up the story. He's getting everything in order. He's laying the groundwork, and he's following through with it. I was pumped to see what he could do with the rest of it. But then after he set everything up, he's off Marvel, he's off Carnage, and we got the new guy taking over. So, like I said, I was a little hesitant about it, but last issue, killed it. He did such a good job, and I was thinking, man, I'm excited to see where he goes with it now because he did a really good job with his first issue. Let's see. Jason, can I start with 12? If I haven't read any of it before, maybe start with 11. No, absolutely not. You're going to, if Jason, assuming you're talking about Carnage, you're going to be extremely lost. Like I was just saying, Ram V did a great job just laying the groundwork. He really did, not background stories, but we really dove into some of these characters, and it kind of was split. I don't want to call it two separate series in the very beginning, but we've got a detective. His name is Jonathan Shade. and he's looking for Carnage. He's looking for this murderer as well. But then on the other side of the story, you've got this guy who's a serial killer named Kenneth Neely. And he's trying to summon Carnage because he thinks if he can bring Carnage, he'll take him under his wing and they can just go and kind of kill or do whatever they want to do together. So one's trying to summon Carnage and just become this mega serial killer, and the other one's looking for whoever's committing all these crimes. I loved it. It went a little off-world. It lost me a little bit, but what I will say is that it all made sense, and everything that Ram V did with Carnage being off-world, all the villains that he was looking for, that's where we're at in the story pretty much right now. The last couple of issues is where that led to, and then when Alex took over, I don't want to say he took it in a different direction, but he really expanded on what was going on, and he did a killer job on it. Jason, so go back. Yeah, I would definitely start from the beginning for this one. You're going to be lost and you're just not going to understand. And even if you do have a baseline understanding of what's going on, you're not going to be able to fully appreciate the series, and you probably won't think it's as good. I stopped reading Carnage when it went off-world. Might pick it up. Dude, that's exactly how I felt. I thought, I hate that they're going off-world. It doesn't really make sense for where the series started. It all came together. It was worth the wait. I'll say that. Oh, man, I appreciate that, Jason. That means a lot to me. And Apocryphon wanted to read the one about Death losing her job. Forget the name. Oh, that was The Many Deaths of Lila Starr. That was a really good one, too. So with this one, I don't exactly remember what happened in the last issue. I'm pretty positive it's when Kenneth Neely went to St. Estes Orphanage and met Cletus Cassidy because he saw that Carnage was on the loose, and I think Carnage was actually after him now too. So we figured if he could go get Cletus Cassidy to come out of retirement or the St. Estes home, that's how they're going to be able to take down Carnage kind of once and for all. Some other stuff happens. I'm pretty sure that all happens in that last issue. But now we've got everything that came from that last one now. We've got Kenneth Neely, we've got Cletus Cassidy, they're sitting down in a diner, and that's, I don't want to call it a kind of slower issue, but to an extent it was, because the entire issue took place in this diner. Yes, a lot of stuff happened. I'll show you just a little sneak peek of some of the action that we did get, but let's see. Let's show you, alright. Oh, and yeah. Well, we got a little bit more story between, the other Carnage then with John Shade, the detective. Not much with that. The focus really was on Cletus Cassidy and Kenneth Neely in this one. But there's a little sneak peek. We had a little bit of, there's actually a decent bit of action that takes place in this diner. But as I was saying, it all takes place in the diner. They're just talking. They're trying to figure out their next steps. The only thing that I don't like so far about this is what Carnage looks like now. I'm not sure if this is supposed to be it's Cletus Cassidy's like own version in his own little world, but I'm not a big fan of that. I mean, it's not the worst. I've seen a lot worse come out of Marvel, so props to them for at least taking a shot on something, but not a big fan of that. But overall, still a really good issue. Highly recommend this series. And that's the last one. Let's see. All right, I'm all caught up. Let me know your guys' opinions on these books too. We can talk about it. We can, bounce our thoughts back and forth on it as well. Last one that I got from Marvel. I love this series. I had my problems with it a little bit once we found out the motives to the main character. But we got Miles Morales Spider-Man issue number 5. This was basically an all-out action issue. I loved it. Raneem, she's crazy. And that's what I was just talking about before. When you found out Raneem's motives, I just thought, man, this is just some selfish kind of entitled girl that thinks that she's owed everything, when in reality she's not owed a single thing, and she's taking it out, all of it. She's taking everything out on Miles. And someone mentioned it in the comments section a little while ago when all of that came out, and said, I guess kind of think of it in a different perspective. She's upset about everything that happened in her life, and she thinks that if she can take it out on Miles, it's going to do something for her. Like everything that happened with her family, not getting into Brooklyn Vision's Academy. He got powers, and he's not taking advantage of it. She doesn't have the power. She thinks that she's owed all of this. And I thought, that's a really unique take. I really like that. And I'm going to think about that going forward. Nah, it's like the very next issue, that's the mindset I had. It's like, all right, maybe I hope she doesn't become friends with Miles and all of them and then become part of the group. She just goes to level 100. She's batshit, out of her mind crazy, and she just wants revenge, and she doesn't care about anything else. That's what this issue was. It was all action. Ranim's crazy. See, that's a little bit of a spoiler, but she attacked Miles Morales' family, and a lot of stuff happened from there, man. A lot of good stuff. Here's a little bit of the artwork. See, that's how crazy she is. She got all that going on right now. Because she's hooked up to all of these electronics, and that's where she's generating all of this power from. Let's see, Mark. Alex Packnadal is turning out to be a talent to watch. 100% on that. Everyone hypes up All Against All, and sadly I'm not reading that series, but everyone keeps talking about how good it is. Right now he's taken over on Carnage, and he's killing it on that one so far, so I might have to go back and read some of the other stuff that he's written. I'm not going to be getting too more in-depth with this Miles Morales issue, mainly because that's what the entire issue was. It was straight up action. Oh, man, dude, Texas Snake. Miles Morales is legit. See, the thing is I'm a huge fan of Miles Morales. I am definitely biased towards this character. I've got, I got Volume 1, Volume 2, or 2 Volume 1s and a Volume 2 up there. So I've got all of the Omnis that have come out so far. I've got all of his series in floppies. It's a character I really like. But I do think so far this series is incredibly well written. It's written by, I believe, Cody Ziegler. Oh, I always forget. I always like to mention who everything is written by. So this is Jed McKay on Moon Knight, and overall he's done a great job. Artwork is Alessandro Capuccio. It's just that issue. It's a little one-off issue, no biggie. Alex Packnadal is on Carnage, doing a killer job on it so far, and the artist is Francesco Mana. And here we are on Miles Morales. We got Vincentini and Cody Ziegler. Vincentini, the artwork, I gotta show you some more of this art. It's incredible. That's the same page. It's fantastic artwork. Look at this action, guys. So much detail. I love the colors. I love the lines. I love everything so far about this series. Let's see. I'm glad they're making an effort to give Miles his own unique personal enemy. See, I like that 2K bar. That was one thing I was always a little worried about. Getting into Miles, they're already calling him Spider-Man, and everyone calls him Spider-Man, and he's starting to kind of be part of the Avengers, hanging out with all the superheroes. There's a lot of stuff going on with him. But as much as I do like him, there hasn't really been anything super unique to him, besides a few of the powers, like the camouflage that he can do, the venom shock that he can do. Outside of that, webbing, suit's different than the Peter Parker Spider-Man, obviously. But I was hoping they got a little bit more unique with it, because even the last series, as much as I did like it, it was still just like Peter Parker Spider-Man villains. We were fighting Tombstone, Scorpion showed up. I'm sure there's a few other ones that I'm missing out on. But then there was his own clone saga, and that felt very... I don't know. I mean, Peter Parker Spider-Man and ASM was also doing clone stuff at the exact same time. So it was a little bit of an overkill. But right now, we got Ranim. Her other name is, I think, Rabble. Rabble. I don't really like that name that much. But she's super unique to the story. And it's someone Miles' age. It's someone who got wronged and tried to do the exact same things as Miles, except didn't get any of it. So that's why she's taking everything out on him and wants this revenge. Overall, great story. And Cody Ziegler also did... the Spider-Punk series recently, and that was also an awesome series. Let's see. What's your favorite? I'm guessing moderate was probably modern. So favorite modern comic at the moment. New Miles movie is going to come out soon. Yeah, it's going to be a solid one. My favorite one that's currently ongoing, though. That's a tough one. Right now, I'd probably have to say Something Is Killing the Children, because that one has consistently gotten better, in my opinion. I know, granted, there's some slower issues, and some issues don't have a big effect on the series like other ones, but we're, 25, pushing 30 issues, something along those lines, and I haven't been bored once, and every time it comes out, that's one of the issues that I'm still looking forward to most. But then from Image, I mean, Undiscovered Country is great. Not one of my favorites, but Department of Truth is up there. And there's a lot of really good stuff on the market right now. But I'd say probably Something Is Killing the Children's got to be my favorite. Spider-Punk was great, Lyle. I'm glad you enjoyed that one too. That was all of my Marvel books. So I'd say let's do AWA next, and then we'll do Boom Studios, because I only have one issue of that, and I honestly think the rest of it's all Image. I think this entire stack of books is all Image comics. Oh no, we got one from Ablaze. But that's a hell of a stack. And if you are just tuning in, I said earlier I missed out on Clear from Dark Horse, and I also wasn't able to get... now I can't remember the first one. It was Clear and Ambassador from Image. They got super shorted on the Ambassador. Clear, I think I just missed out on it. I don't know if they got short. I don't think they ordered enough. Ordered extra is what I should have said. They ordered enough. But then I also wanted to get Superman Lost #1, but they didn't have, or #2, but they didn't have #1, so I didn't grab the second one either. So, I'll get to them eventually. Sean Ali, what's good, bud? All right, so we're going to do AWA next. This one, I'm a little back and forth on this series. It's halfway done. It's only 4 issues, but we got Red Zone #2. This is from AWA. The writer is Cullen Bunn. I'm a huge fan of Cullen Bunn, and we also got Mike Deodato Jr. on the artwork. And if you've read anything with Mike Deodato Jr.'s artwork on AWA, I'm not going to say it all looks the same, but the setup is the same for everything. And that's pretty much what it is, where that's like what the panel setup is. It's the same thing. I believe it was for Bad Mother, Absolution, I think, was it 4 Men or something along those lines? There was another series that took place in Pennsylvania, all done by Mike Deodato Jr. and and Not All Robots. It all looks the same. Great artwork, though. Not to say like, oh, it's just bland. No. Fantastic artwork, and that's the layout style of it. Here's another quick little picture of it all as well. There we go. A little bit of sneak peek on the art. Hey, Demi, Yo-Yo AR Maniac in New York, Don't Call to Come Back 2 came out It did finally come out. I actually saw it at the shop. I was really surprised that my shop got that one in. But I did see it. Didn't grab it, though. I'm super behind on that series. Hey, Dr. Cosmos Labs, what's good, man? Thanks for popping in. I appreciate it. So when I reviewed the first issue, I thought it was just all right. I've talked about it before. My favorite go-to books, they're like horror, crime, mysteries, stuff like that. Those are the series that really get me going. I love reading that type of stuff. The spy espionage, I feel like it's very overplayed, and it's got to be really unique to pull me in or want to continue on with the series. And after the first issue, that's how I felt about this. It felt very generic. It felt, oh, we've got a professor and he's going to Russia. That alone is kind of a spy series that we've all read and seen so many times now. The guy's going to Russia. He's got to either extract somebody or get some intel and get out of there. That's kind of how this one was. We got a professor. I think he was a professor of Russian and Slavic literature or something along those lines, or a history professor. And he gets approached by the government and says, hey, we know who you are. We need you to go to Russia. And he's like, nah, fam, I'm behind. That life is behind me. I'm not doing that anymore. I'm trying to just lay low and be retired. And they said, well, the person we need you to get asked for you specifically. And it kind of piqued his interest, like, wow, I haven't talked to her in a long time. I'm surprised she asked about me. That's how the series kind of started. And that's what made me say, like, it's all right. It's nothing really unique and crazy about it. But there was a lot of action, and I thought, it's AWA. I'm going to continue on with it. AWA pretty much knocks all of their series out of the park. They pretty much always have a grand slam. I love their stuff. And this issue, I liked it a lot more than the first one. It did have that unique feel to me. So, without too many spoilers, I'm just going to say, the main character, he did get the girl that he has to, and now their whole thing is, let's make it out of Russia. We got to get out. I've got some connects. And right there alone, it sounds, okay, well, that kind of sounds like a lot of the other series that I've read. AR, why is it unique? So, he's been in Russia a long time in his past life. We still didn't learn anything about his past life, but we learned that he has a lot of enemies. And now all of these enemies, somebody put out a hit on them. And they're all like, ooh, let's get this money. Let's get him. So basically, you see all of these characters in Russia get their guns ready, answer their phone calls, and everybody is after them now. Basically, everybody that's any sort of assassin is trying to get them for the big payout. That's what I like to see. The robot guy on the front cover, I kind of thought that was stupid. That was probably the only complaint I had about this issue. So, because I'm not going to get into it, but like I said, that's probably my only negative thing about this issue. But overall, definitely continuing on with it. But it did feel more unique and a lot better than the first issue, in my opinion. Those espionage books lost me at Almost American, and that I forgot the name of that, but I feel like that's the one that I kept in the back of my mind. Like, all right, I already read this from AWA, and Almost American was okay, mainly because I already don't like this stuff all that much. But I thought that one was just an all right series. Nothing too special about it. Second Street, what's going on, buddy? I thought the first issue was okay. Definitely something different from Cullen Bunn, who seems to do mostly horror. That's a fact. And that's one thing I kind of looked at like, oh, Cullen Bunn's on it, and I really like Cullen Bunn. He's known for horror, so maybe it is going to be more of a horror series instead of just a straight-up spy thing. But right now, it does seem more of a spy series, but I do like all the action that happened in the second issue, so I'm looking forward to the third one. Get a quick sip. I got some bangers coming up next. Man, I don't know where you guys are all located, but I'm in PA. It's hot as fuck today. It is so hot, and I'm not sure if our air is working either. So if I start to sweat by the end of this video, you're gonna know why. All right, but next up, we're gonna go with the brand new one from Boom Studios, The Seasons Have Teeth. I gotta say, I'm always very back and forth on Boom Studios. I just got done talking about how Something is Killing the Children is probably my favorite series amongst all the different publishers. I love it. Once Upon a Time at the End of the World, also an incredible series written by Jason Aaron right now. And, there's some other really good ones as well. But for the most part, I think Boom Studios has a lot of misses. It's either a straight-up hit or a massive miss, in my opinion. Because I'm thinking of Maw, Eat the Rich as of late. There's a few other ones, like Berserker. We're not getting into Berserker today. But there's a lot of ones that I just thought, it's not really a good series. But I will always give them a shot because, like I said, I feel as though they're always a hit or a miss. This one, it's kind of in between. I don't exactly know how I feel about it. It feels like an extremely unique story, and that's what I like about it. We didn't get a lot of info. We got a little bit of a backstory on our main character, and that's who it is on the front cover. I don't recall his name off the top of my head. But it's written by Dan Waters and Sebastian Cabral. I believe that's how you say his name. Well, it's written by Dan Waters and then illustrated by Sebastian Cabral. And here's some of the artwork. I'm just going to go over the first couple of pages because I'm not going to spoil what happens in it, but I guess just a little bit about it. So that's our main character. He's retired, and he's a photographer. And we went a little bit into his backstory with his ex-wife and the seasons back in the day and how things used to be. Now you can see that everything's kind of pale. Everything's gray. There's no color. But you get this little tidbit right there, that little monster. Well, it turns out that the changing of the seasons brings a monster with it. Like, the season is a monster. But people look at it all differently. Some say, like, oh, it's beautiful because it's this big monster that brings in a new season. But then it also is a big, terrifying monster that people need to be scared of. And he takes photos of this monster. And I guess that's kind of where I want to leave you at. It was really unique, and it was a nice story, and the artwork was fantastic. I'm going to bring a little bit more because, as you can tell, this is what I was talking about, where everything's pale, everything's a little gray, but then, springtime is coming, but it's bringing some color with it. It's bringing a little plant. But at the same time, people are also, I don't want to say they're scared of it, but they're aware that it's kind of, I guess, a living being or a monster as well. And so this is what I meant by we get a little bit of his past life. He sees his pavilion, he's with his ex, and that's like the next few pages is him just reminiscing on that time and how he got into photography and stuff like that. So it's a really unique story that we didn't really learn a lot of stuff about. Towards the end, we did finally get to see the monster, and I like the design on it too. So I'm looking forward to seeing where they go with it. I'm not going to say it was phenomenal. It was incredible. I'm going to leave you with, it's a very unique story that has a lot of potential. It was a good read. I recommend it. Dr. Cosmo, always hating on Berserker. I'm going to continue to hate on Berserker. Let's see. Mark says Robbie's pick of the week. Oh, so that was Robbie's pick of the week. I'll have to check that out to see what he said about it. I didn't get a chance. I try to tune into his videos, but Wednesday's always a busy day for me, and Tuesday live stream, so I don't always get an opportunity to check out his video until sometime Saturday or Sunday. Next up, let's see. The artwork looks solid. Oh yeah, if you guys are just tuning in, here's a quick sneak peek of the artwork again. I'm not going to go past the early pages for you guys because they get into a lot of stuff. It was cool. I think it was $5. Yeah, it's a $5 book. It's got a nice cardstock feel cover to it, so felt like I got my money's worth. I liked it. Now for this one. This is a unique one. So we've got From Ablaze, Children of the Black Sun. This is issue number 4. I love this series. This is so good. And I said, I think in Tuesday, that it really reminded me of Something Is Killing the Children's artwork. But when we looked it up, I believe it was the House of Slaughter's artist. I said the House of Slaughters. But this one's fun. This is another one. See, the thing is, I always talk about how I don't want to spoil books for you guys. A lot of books this week. So, for example, like going into this one. The Seasons Have Teeth. Brand new series. Children of the Black Sun. Everything that they've been building up to has led to this moment. Chroma was the end of the series. World Tree, the Giant Kaiju, 2 new series. Nocterra, something massive happens in that one too. Not Phantom Road, but Little Monsters, the big penultimate issue. 8 Billion Genies, the final issue. And then something massive happens in Radiant Black as well. So I feel bad. I'm going to be reviewing these books, but it's just going to be kind of my opinion on a lot, because if I talk about it, it's going to be just this massive spoiler that ruins everything for you guys. I hate, because it was a great week. I'd hate to do that to you. But Children of the Black Sun, issue number 4, as I was saying, everything that they've been building up to, I'm gonna leave this right there for you. The Black Sun, finally, yes, finally. They've been talking about this Black Sun, that it could be popping up any day now. They think it's happening again. It happens. It happens in this issue. Some stuff happens before, but I do think the next issue, number 5, is going to be a big one. I don't know how long they're going to be continuing on this series. I thought it was just going to be like a 5 or 6 issue miniseries, but it seems as though this is something they can continue on with for a little while. But yeah, we get to see our main characters, the kids, the 2 adults that are children of the Black Sun. The 2 adults, something really odd happens between them, and then they... that's what I'm saying. I don't want to ruin anything for you guys. We're going to leave you with that. The Black Sun is finally here. A lot of crazy shit happens, and we get to see the Black Sun's effect on some of the people towards the end of the issue. It was A+. If you're not reading the series, you're making a mistake. It's a great one. Let's see. All right, we're all good on comments. Now for this one, we were talking about this a while ago. I think it was who was it? I don't think he's in the house right now. I don't think he's watching. I'm kind of surprised, but Chroma issue number 4 is finally here. This is an $8 book. Did we get our money's worth out of the series? Was it 4 issues? So $32. I don't think the series is worth $32. I'm going to be honest with you. It was a good series. I don't even want to know if I want to call them oversized issues, because a lot of the pages do just strictly focus on the artwork, and the artwork is incredible. Let me show you some of that real quick. So here's some of the artwork on it. Great artwork, but that's what I mean. There's a lot of pages that are just like this. So to call it oversized, I don't know about that. But here's a little bit more action coming your way in this. But like I said, this is the series finale of Chroma. And we do get a little bit of a time jump in this one, and I wasn't a big fan of that, because I think that's doing a disservice to the series itself. I would love for them to continue on with Chroma. I wish they would have done double the issues, turn it into an ongoing, maybe if it wasn't on a cardstock, thicker issue, oversized, if they just made it into a standard issue, regular price, multiple, like a lot more issues, would have loved it. Let's see. Down to expensive issue, probably just rent. Yeah, that's what I mean. It's a little expensive. Gaming Chef. Hey, what's going on, buddy? Good evening. I fell asleep during stream last time. Time difference. Dude, I totally get that. Time differences, they're a bitch. So, Chroma. As I was saying, there is a time jump in this issue. Not a huge fan of that. But what I do like is how Chroma kind of lived up to what everyone's thoughts on her were. Everybody that was in Pale City who thought she was a monster, she kind of lived up to that. She gets her revenge, and she does a lot of damage to Pale City. It was really cool to see. I think his name's Zet's friends from the beginning of the series. Some of them kind of figure out what's actually going on in Pale City as well. One of them demands answers from the Makavi, and some stuff happens from there. So overall, series finale. I don't want to ruin the ending for you. We get a ton of action. There is a time jump. I believe it's 1 year in the future, and Chroma's a badass. After reading it, though, this isn't a huge spoiler, but the very end of it says, "To my father." And I guess seeing how this series ended, because there was kind of a big ol' plot twist to it, it kind of seemed as though that after seeing that plot twist and seeing how the rest of the series was, a lot of this was directed towards her father. And I don't know if it was a good, like dedication, unless if it was just like, hey, I wrote this book, I'm dedicating it to my dad. That's a different story. But if it was kind of, because it's the story of a girl, I believe, Lorenzo. So it's a story of a girl, and a lot of stuff happens to her, and the big plot twist happens at the end, and then you get the final page of "To my father." So I don't know. It seemed like it could have been not a good dedication, if you know what I mean. If you read it, let me know what you thought about that too. Mets fan, what's going on, man? It doesn't matter if you're late. You're here to hang out. That's all that matters. I hope you cooked something good. Thank you, Gaming Chef. I got it at, I don't know. I think Target, maybe. I don't know where I got it. Sometimes my girlfriend just gets me shirts, and then they show up, and I'm like, oh, shit, that looks cool. Thank you. Let's see. So those were all those books. Next up, we're going to be pretty much just wrapping all these up with Image. There's a lot of Image books, though. We got 2, 4, 6. We got 8 more, all Image. And then after I'm done reviewing these, we're going to hop into the tier list. Let's see. What are we going to do first? Let's start with we're going to start with Dark Ride. This is probably, as much as I like Dark Ride, this is probably my least favorite issue from Dark Ride and least favorite issue from Image this week. It still wasn't bad. I think was it $3.99 still? I actually don't know how much this one costs. I don't think it's on the back. I don't know how much one costs, but it's got a nice cardstock cover on it. If you can tell from here, nice cardstock cover. But for this one, we get some backstory on, I believe it's the dad, and actually that's not the dad. Wait, yeah, we do get some backstory on the dad in this one, with the mom that ended up having the brother and sister. So nothing too wild there. That kind of takes up about half the issue, and you just kind of see the dad meet the mom, and then he shows her around the park, and obviously stuff happens from there. Leading to the brother and sister. Then it jumps into the present time again with the brother and sister. And the brother, he's starting to kind of realize that there's some weird stuff going on in the park, that it might not actually just be a theme park for like a horror theme park. There might be some other things happening within the park that might involve some monsters. The sister, on the other hand, I think she's pretty well aware of everything that's going on, and she's trying to take the spotlight as always. Her name's Halloween, and she wants the spotlight on her. So, good series. Slower, kind of boring issue. Not a lot of stuff happened, but overall, I'd still check out Dark Ride if I was you. Born of Blood finale was my read of the week. Great series. That one was at my shop. What's crazy is ever since everyone started mentioning Born of Blood, I've been looking for it, and my shop has had the last couple of issues, but I don't think they've got all the issues before that. I'm very convinced that they didn't get the earlier issues. Joshua Williamson is a nice fellow and super enthusiastic about his books, but lately his writing has been hit or miss for me. Is he on the... Oh, this is Joshua Williamson. Oh, actually, you know what? I forgot. Let me go back. I always say I like to mention who the writer and artist is, and I always forget. So the writer on Children of the Black Sun, we've got Dario Ciccio, and the artist is... Holy shit. Letizia Cardanici. I probably butchered one of those names. And then from Chroma, we got Lorenzo De Felici as the writer. And creator, writer, and artist is Lorenzo De Felici. So, very talented. Props to him. And then on Dark Ride, Joshua Williamson is the writer. Oh, wait. So, this is actually $3.99. Man, screw Marvel and DC for putting up mainly DC for that extra $1 on cardstock, when we got Image Skybound over here pumping it out on a nice cardstock cover for $3.99. But writer Joshua Williamson and creator, and then artist is Andre Bresson. Artwork's great. I actually here's some of the artwork for you guys too. There you go. There's the art. I like it. Not bad by any means. This is a little bit more for you guys. There we go. Couple pages. Just picked up Dark Ride 1, haven't read it. I think Dark Ride's great. I really like the series. I know I just got done kind of, saying this is my least favorite one of the series so far, a little bit on the slow side, but you need those issues. You need the backstory sometimes. You need those character developments. You need to see where all of the characters are and where they're moving forward. Doesn't mean it's bad by any means, but slower than the other ones. Backwoods Collector, what's up, buddy? I hope you're having a good day today. All right, for this one. This is a brand new series. We got the giant, I want to call it the Kokju, something like that. This is cover B. Oh, I forgot to tell you all the other covers too. I think everything's basically cover A. Yeah, I think I got cover A for I think everything else. But this one's cover B. This, I didn't know what I was getting into. This is written by Jerry Dugan, and then the artwork is Koblish. Let me get the first name for you guys. Of course, it's at the end. At least I think it's at the end. Oh, and Scott McTiernan's coming back. Oh, shit. Scott McTiernan. Oh, he says really good stuff. They're like these little one-shots that they keep making other stuff. That's Wasis. What is? Unless if I said something wrong, which I probably did. The artist is Scott Koblish. I don't know if I said. I don't know what the hell I said. Oh yeah, bro, that's the one. That's the one I brought up right now. Let me. I don't even. This was an odd book. This was a really odd book. I don't know if I can. I'm trying to find like a safe page for you guys because there's some. That's a play on. Did I say something wrong? No. Oh, wait. Oh, wait. Did I say something wrong? I don't know. All right. Here's some of the artwork. Oh, and you're playing. Oh yeah, you're playing. I forget what you said. Dying by Daylight. Oh, the title. Oh wait. How do you say it then? The giant Kokju? Is that how you say it? I don't know how the hell you say it. Let me know how you say it then. Every time I say something wrong, you guys gotta tell me so I don't keep sounding stupid. Like I said, I don't know. I don't know how to really. Anu. Oh yeah, it's oh man. Was it on? It's ennui. It's ennui. I was saying Anu the whole time. All right, so, oh yeah, Andrew Ryan Bailey. That scene. Yeah, guys, it's so this monster comes out of the sea, right? And it's how do I don't know, man. It's so wild. Like this big monster on the front. Yeah, Truth and Faith. That absolutely did happen. The big monster showed his package and unloaded on the city, and then he basically took a dump on the entire city too. It's a weird one. It's a very weird book. This is the monster, and this is I think it's. This is I don't think it is a safe. It's a safe page. There's not many safe pages I can put up for you guys, but that's the monster. And I think it's San Francisco, and he just came on everything, I guess. Yeah. Here's like, nah, you know what? That's a wrap. I can't really show the pages. We got this monster, and he's, like I said, he basically takes a dump on the entire city, and it's like an acid, and then he has sex with a building. It was crazy. It was a crazy issue. But with that being said, it was fun. I really liked the artwork. It was the craziest issue I read all week. There was some wild stuff in some of these books, some weird stuff. I don't know. I'm trying to think off the top of my head if I read any other books like that before. Because when we were talking about it on Tuesday, I was like, oh, so it's probably going to be something like Ultra Mega, the other thing that came out from Image a little while ago, the other kaiju type of series. Nothing like that one. Nothing like that one at all. I flipped a few pages, and I was thinking, at first I was thinking, all right, this kaiju monster's coming on to the city that they're in, and they're going to it's going to destroy everything, like, you know, typical monster series like that. But then when it took like a dump on everybody and it burned them with acid and they all melted and it said like hundreds of people died, I thought there's no way it can get crazier than that. And then it did. And that lasted, I think, like 2 pages. It was, and actually, I think it lasted more than a couple pages. It was crazy. So, oh yeah, they show, yeah, well, you guys said they show it all. It's nuts. Ideal City, what's going on, man? So we can talk about that more. Reach out to me through the Discord. Speaking of, I didn't put the link for the Discord, but let's see if I can. Actually, I don't know if I might be able to put that link in there super quick for you guys. If you guys are interested in joining, where we talk about other comic book related stuff. Let's see, how do I invite people? There we go. Yeah, let me get this. Let me do this for you guys really quick. Because I know everybody's dying for that. I'm kidding. But I will. Here we go. All right, we'll talk about this next one while I get everything loaded up. All right. So, next one we're going to go over is... Well, there we go. We'll do Little Monsters next. But here is the... If anyone was interested, this is the Discord... the invite for the Discord. There we go, guys. And I pinned it for you. So hopefully you guys join. I think we're up to like 25 people in the Discord. It's a lot of fun. We talk about comics and stuff we recently picked up. So let me know if you have any questions about it. Next one I'm going to be going over is Little Monsters, issue number 12. This isn't cover A. I think there's only cover A and cover B. Cover A and cover B, so I think this is cover B. Another really good issue. This is the penultimate. We got one more on the way, and I love this series. I'm a big fan of Jeff Lemire. I've talked about it. I probably talk about it every single time a Jeff Lemire book comes up, but he does a killer job at writing stuff. He has such a way with telling a story, and I totally understand what some people always say. They're like, oh, his stuff is boring, or he never gets to the point. You got to see it through. You got to see what actually happens with it, and I feel like that's where we're at in this one. Everything that they've been building up to is obviously happening right now. The little girl, she made it back to her uncle. The kidnapped vampire is back with the regular gang, and they're gearing up for, I'd call it a big war, but it's really not a big war. It's just between these two groups, and I'm excited to see how they wrap this one up. The best part about this issue, the best part about this series that I will always talk about is the intros. Every single one of these issues, there's an intro to one of the characters, and this one happens to be the uncle from the human side of things. His name's Finnick. So they kind of show the story of Finnick, and then where he is now, obviously, and some of the stuff that he's had to deal with when he was younger. So that continues to be the best part about the series. The actual plot, it's moving real slow, and once it officially ends, I can't imagine it's this big crazy ending, because there really hasn't been much going on in the series. However, this issue we did lose a few of the vampires, so they are, you know, no one's really safe in this story right now. So I'm pumped for the final issue. I hope you guys are enjoying it too. Big Guy and Rusty the Boy Robot is great. Can't wait for Ultra Mega to come back. Ultra Mega was a fun series. Speaking of Jeff Lemire, I just picked up Phantom Road number 2. Gotta find one. Yeah, speaking of, we'll go over that one right away next. More Jeff Lemire goodness. We got Phantom Road number 2. And this is what I was just saying. You have to see his series through. The second issue, we still don't really know anything. Although they did expand on the story a little bit. Just like Carnage, it kind of took place in a diner kind of the entire time. We've got our two main characters right there on the front. They don't know what's going on. The reader doesn't know what's going on. I'm sure the only person that does is Jeff Lemire at this point. Probably, who's the writer? Gabrielle H. Walta. And speaking of this one, we got Jeff Lemire and Dustin Nguyen. And, alright, I went over the Giants one as well. So here's some of the artwork These are the monsters. And this is what I was talking about. That diner that you see right there, that's pretty much the only thing that they recognize from their own realm. See, we don't even know if they're in a different dimension, if they're in a different world, what's going on. But they recognize that truck stop. They recognize that diner, and they go in there, and they actually meet somebody, a real person. But the dude's like a riddle. Everything he's speaking is just like, well, I can't tell you that much, but I can tell you that if you travel off yonder, you'll find what you need. And it's like, but what do I need? Where am I going? You'll figure it out. That's pretty much how the story was. Just go that way, you'll figure it out. But don't leave too soon, because anytime you want to ask a question, I don't know. You don't know when you're going to see me again. I don't know when I'm going to come back to see you guys again. A whole lot of what ifs in this series. But the cool thing about this issue was, once we kind of made it past that point where the two main characters had that conversation, I'll just show you because that's literally right in the beginning of it. Here it is. So he meets, well, before he meets, oh man, there's so much cool stuff in this series. I really love it. The character, oh wait, been loving Little Monsters, just read the issue in Phantom Rose. The character reminded me of Ice Cream Man. I can see that. Not like a horror character on that sense, but very mysterious. It makes you feel that he's hiding a lot of stuff. Like, he could tell you what to do, and he could let you know where to go, but maybe he's controlling everything. Maybe he's the one that brought them there. But the thing is whatever's happening, wherever they're stuck, it's like this in-between of, I don't want to call it life and death, but kind of their world and another world. Because you get a glimpse of this. This is right in the beginning of the issue, so it's not really a big spoiler, but they see out the window the regular world going on, but once they walk out, they're stuck in this kind of phantom world. Very cool, very interesting. Jeff Lemire always writes a great series. I recommend checking that one out as well. Now we're down to the last few. Let's see. We'll do Radiant Black. Radiant Black number 23. All right, I covered that one. This is still Kyle Higgins, and the artist is Eduardo Ferragato. I really like the artwork, and this issue, I've talked about it so many times. I'm trying not to get a crazy spoiler for you guys. I've talked about this so many times. I'm very, very back and forth on this series. There's so many issues where it's very slow. They're building up a lot of stuff. They're introducing new characters. There's just a lot of story going on with not a lot of plot development, and I've always talked about how I feel as though it's better read in a trade paperback or a hardcover when they eventually release it. I stand by that. I'm going to continue to stand by it. If you haven't started it, I wouldn't pick up in the middle of one of these arcs. I wouldn't even start at the beginning. I would just wait it out for, like I said, the trade paperbacks or a hardcover. Because if you're reading it month to month like myself, you're probably not going to enjoy it as much as sitting down and reading it all at once. There's a lot of series that way. And it doesn't mean it's a bad series. It just means that there's a lot of good story happening, and every once in a while, you get a little bit of a slower one. But with Radiant Black number 23, with all that being said, everything that they've been building up to with not the monsters, but like the robots coming to Earth, it's finally happening in this issue. And they've kind of been hinting at that it could happen any day now. Could happen weeks, it could happen months. They don't know, but it's going to happen. So this is going to be a bigger spoiler. I'm not going to ruin the end of the issue, but so we got the Radiant Yellow character. I don't know his name off the top of my head. I don't remember. But he's been working in the garage for the last 4 issues, just working on this robot head. So a robot did finally make way to Earth a few issues ago. They destroyed it. They kept the head. They're trying to figure out what's going on in this robot. Well, the Radiant Yellow character finally woke it up, disconnected it from everything else, and said, what is your purpose? What's going on here? That's when all the crazy stuff starts to happen, is once he kind of woke up that robot. That's what I'm going to leave you with in this, because if you're a fan of this series, this is literally what you've been waiting. I feel like this is what you've been waiting for a long time, because this is what I've been waiting for. I'm glad we finally got some sort of plot progression, some action that's, pertinent to the main plot of the story. It's really a very fun issue, and this is something I've been waiting for a while. And in the ending, nice cliffhanger on that too. A lot of good stuff happening in that series. Let's go with... Oh, these are all good ones. We're going to go with World Tree next. So I'm going to bring up World Tree, and so it did release, in case if you guys were a little, wondering, did it come out, did it not come out? What happened is cover A, so this is according to my shop. Cover A all had an error on it, not a misprint, because some people are calling it misprints. And I mean, I guess by definition, it technically is a misprint, but it's a cover error. That's all it is. So if you know what cover A looks like, I'll see about bringing, I'll bring it up. I'll bring up World Tree cover A when I go into the tier maker, and I'll show you what it looks like, and I'll talk about it a little bit more there. But cover A, it's all like pretty much all black. Instead of there being details and pictures, it's like all blacked out. And they said it happened to a lot of the incentive covers as well. But be on the lookout, because I have seen some people, specifically Bryce Comics, he posted a double cover of a 1 in 100 incentive. And I know I've seen some other posts floating around the internet about other errors on the incentive covers as well. But take that for what it is, because people are hyping this one up. Not like the Spider-Man 7 or whatever one came out yesterday, the Marvel's Voices. They're saying, oh, brand new James Tynion series. We're going to hold on to it because of the errors. There's like 36 goddamn covers for this. There's a shitload of covers. It's not like this some super in-demand book. There's going to always be an option out there for you guys. So don't overspend. The error, spend a few extra bucks for whatever. My shop held on to all of them. Not returning them, not selling them. They're just going to hang tight, see what happens. Now, as far as the issue goes, this is another one I have to be careful about showing you pictures, because there's a lot of... the one character is basically all nude. I was a little bit graphic on this one. Not bad, though. John's Comics with Kids. What's going on, buddy? So this is the art, like I said, a little graphic. I got to be careful with what I show you on here, because there's quite a bit of nudity in this. And the artwork's great. The story's, it's very unique. Here's another one. Just a, yeah, so this is good, too. Just had to double check. I don't want to screw myself over on that. So... a little bit about this is that they call the internet like the undernet. There's a whole nother type of internet out there, and it can wreak havoc on the populations. And I think in this one, we're dealing with one of the main characters, and they said once they caught him, he killed like 60 plus people in just a quick time span. You see that one main character that I didn't want to show you because she's the one that's basically nude the entire time. There's like a whole nother undernet like group out there that's like I just want to get the right thing for you guys. Oh, John's Comics, you did an interview with Boer? Oh, that's pretty solid, man. David Boer's got really good shit. I'm a big fan of his series. So it's like a whole underworld. They call it the undernet, but it's like this underworld group that they're talking about the next stage of evolution is here. The next stage of just civilization is here. And you can either be a part of it or you don't want to be a part of it. And the people that were involved with the being part of it, they're out there just killing a bunch of people. Could just call it the dark. Yeah, they could just call it the dark net. I think they mentioned the dark net, but let's see if this is a bad picture. Yeah, I can't show that one. But yeah, they call it connection established, accessing the undernet. So that's what they refer to it as. That's a good way to describe it. It's like a cyberpunk meets Ex Machina, however the hell you say it. Let's see. Thanks, John. Yeah, Booer's such a cool guy. So talented. Every time he came out with a Specs issue, I was messaging him. I was like, man, this is really good stuff. You're killing it on this series. Sadly, I thought the last issue was really bad, but up until then, it was really good. It was really unique. But the rest of this, I feel like this is something that you guys are just going to have to kind of read for yourselves, because that's probably the best way I can describe it. It's like a cyberpunk series, but at the same time, we've got James Tynion writing it, so it's horror, it's creepy, it's weird. There's a mystery going on right now, and I want to know what's going on with the undernet. I want to know why these people are kind of possessed by it and what causes them to go out and kill all of these people. It's crazy. But it's like phones and internet is kind of involved, because this is what it was that I showed you earlier. It says like this. She says, can you take a look at this real quick? And she looks at it, and you see the kind of weird pixelation type shit going on with her. And then that's what causes her to basically get stabbed a few times. And that's what happens to all of the other people in this one too. So I want to know what you guys thought about this issue. It was really unique. I was a big fan of it. All right, now 2 more, and we are going to be going down the tier list. Preston, I'm kind of with you on that. I think James Tynion writes really good stuff, but I'm not sure if monthly is the best way to go about it for his. Like, think about the Department of Truth. If you could sit down and read that hardcover of the Department of Truth, like, what was it, like probably 10 or 12 issues in that, that's probably the way better way to read it. Love the tier list. I appreciate that, man. It's basically a plot of Stephen King's The Cell. That I haven't seen. I haven't seen or read that. Oh, man, this is what I was talking about earlier, guys. So next up, we got Nocterra 13. This is cover A, another bomb-ass series. I'm a huge fan of this issue. Did I miss the review for the new issue of Monarch? Oh, man. So, John, I read the first issue of Monarch. I'm a huge fan of Rodney Barnes as well. My shop didn't get issue number 2 in, and they didn't have issue number 3. I was debating on just picking up 3 anyway and hoping I could find number 2, but they didn't have 2 or 3. I don't have it on my pull list. At this point, I don't really have almost anything on my pull list. I picked up 15 issues this week. I think I only had 4 books on there. It was Nocterra, Radiant Black, and then the Marvel one. So I think I had 5. But I hope you enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to getting it. Let me know what you thought about it. But Nocterra, this is what I was saying earlier, where we've got a lot of books this week where I feel like I'm gonna have a little hard time talking about it because there's a lot of big things happening, and if you've been reading this series, it's stuff that you've been looking forward to, like stuff that they've been building up to, and that's pretty much what happened in this issue. They finally made it to Eos, and they have been talking about Eos since I feel like damn near the beginning of this series, that Eos was just this mythical place, it doesn't exist, and then we eventually find out that it does exist, and then eventually we get the coordinates of where Eos actually is. Bill's back. Bill is... I'm not even going to show you. I'm going to show you artwork, but I'm not going to show you what happens to Bill. So here's some artwork if you've ever been interested in this series. The artwork is phenomenal. It's written by Scott Snyder. The artist is Tony S. Daniel, and they've done an incredible job with this one. It's going to make a killer TV show or movie when they eventually do come out with one. I don't think it's optioned, but at some point it has to. But we do get Blacktop Bill in this one. He's still after everybody, obviously, but that is the kind of main thing that happens in this issue. They finally do make it to Eos, and I'm going to leave you with this. Not only do they make it to Eos, they make it inside of Eos. That's where I'm going to leave you. It was crazy. It was awesome. I feel like going forward in this series, it's going to be wild. But here we go. This is the last one, folks, before we make it into the tier list. It's the final issue of the series. It's going to be a light one to talk about too, but we got 8 Billion Genies, issue number 8. I think this is cover C. Yeah, cover C. It says it on the back. I loved it. I absolutely loved this issue. Overall, the series is pretty solid. There's a few issues in between. I really didn't like the time jumps at all. I felt as though, at the time of reading it, I felt like the time jumps were really ruining the story itself because you started off with everybody in the bar. They're all making wishes. You got to see where the world went. And then all of a sudden, they made a time jump. All right, that makes sense. Some time went by. We're going to see what happened to the world, what's standing still, who has wishes even. But then I think the last issue or the last couple of issues, they start jumping like decades. Like they were really going on. And it hit the point where the main characters that were left, they passed away. And we got to see those main characters' kids that were just babies in those first couple of issues. So it's like the main characters that we had this entire time that we grew attached to is now not even part of the story. And we're wrapping it up in a couple of issues. And now the focus is on the kids that we don't even really know. I didn't like that. And I thought that was a bad way to kind of proceed with the story. However, with issue number 8... everything else made sense now. The focus of the series isn't actually on the people and their wishes. To me, in my opinion, the focus is on the genies. The story is actually about the genies, and they did a great job. This issue is strictly focused on the genies, and that's kind of what I want to leave you with, because it is a wild thing. The way that the entire series just came together from the first issue to this issue and how it looped back to the beginning, I loved it. And I know we got all these people watching. I know you read 8 Billion Genies like I did, and you thought that was wild. That was absolutely wild the way that they did that, and it was incredible. But that is all the books, folks. That is a massive new comic book day list. Mark says apparently Nocterra is in the works at Netflix. Fucking Netflix. I don't like Netflix. I mean, there's some good things on Netflix, but I feel like Netflix ruins a lot of stuff. But this is all the books, man. That was 15 issues, and I missed out on a few others. It was a huge week. I want to know which ones you guys like the most as well. I'm going to bring up World Tree real quick so I can show you what it looked like. Consider having a stand where you can show the cover of the comic. I do have one. I do have a stand, but the way that I have the camera set up now, it would just be like right there. So obviously I could relower the camera, but then with other videos and everything else, it would kind of screw it up. So I have no problem holding it. I'm sure it might be annoying to some other people, but it works. Let's see. Was a little scared flipping through 8 Billion Genies, super heavy with dialogue, but the story was very good. Awesome wrap-up issue. I slightly felt the same way. I was like, man, they're really going dialogue heavy on this final issue. World Tree will be out next week. World Tree did come out this week, though. Just a heads up. So that's what I was going to bring up. Let me show you the error real quick. So that's, hold on. Why is that not there? Let's see. Bear with me just one moment because it's not, for whatever reason, it's not loading it now. All right, it was just working like literally a minute ago. Let's see. All right, I'm gonna have to re-bring up the window capture. I'm sorry, guys. Just bear with me just a second. Source. Hate when it does that crap, guys. That's so weird. I gotta re-add. I gotta totally re-add the source. I figured I could just re-add the picture of it, but I gotta add a whole new one. So sorry about that. 1 second, and there she be. Although it doesn't look right, so just keep that in mind really quick. Hate when it does that stuff. Oh yeah, the KO, they absolutely did not destroy all of the books. I can promise you that. Make it a little bit bigger. This is really throwing me off right now, guys. Because that should not be behind. There we go. All right, cool. Let me move this over here. All right, there we go. Sorry about that. Thank you for bearing with me. Let's see if this stayed up too. I'm going to move myself again real quick. So, this is what I was talking... All right, hold on. Yeah, Ideal. I had to... It was there. It was at the top of the source. I don't know why. I don't know why it all went bad. Let's see... The online stores I ordered World Tree from said 426 was delivery. They're supposed to destroy all copies because of the cover printing error. That's what I was going to bring up here. So the actual printing error, if you're looking at this is cover A. It's not obviously the entire cover. But everything under like the bed and to the right is basically all black. And it doesn't have any of that color. It doesn't have any of the pictures that are supposed to be on there. It's like all black. So that's why they basically said to destroy it or cancel it, and it's going to be coming out again. So I just wanted to show that to you guys real quick. Let's see. Midtown didn't even offer any. So my shop had cover Bs available. They didn't have any cover As available, and they didn't have incentives available either. I've heard some people talk, because I have it right here. That's cover B. Let's see. It is, KO, it is really good, though. It was a really unique story. I've heard some people talk about how they bought comics locally this week, so I guess not. Yeah, I mean, my shop had it. I know the other shops in my area, I'm pretty sure, had it as well, but they didn't offer cover A because that was the only one that was damaged, or like there's an error on it. So here we go. Best time, folks. The tier list. These are all the books I'm going to be going over. As I said, I think twice now, I missed out on Clear from Dark Horse, and I missed out on another one as well that I can't recall off the top of my head. Ambassador from Image. So I missed out on both of those, sadly. I'll read them eventually. All right, but let's jump down this list. We're going to do Marvel first, and then kind of how I did the reviews. I'm going to go with Marvel, and then I'm going to go with the publishers that only had like one book, and then I'll get into Image last. So Marvel, we're going to start with Moon Knight. Sadly, this one's going to have to be a C. I'm putting Moon Knight at a C because I didn't think this issue was really good at all. I didn't think it was horrible to the point where I just didn't like it, where I thought this was terrible, pretty much like I thought of, I think, with Thor or a few other Marvel books recently. All right, Dr. Cosmo, have a good rest of your night, buddy. I'll see you in the Discord. But this one, the issue basically completely focused on Tigra, and I just didn't like... It was Tigra featuring Moon Knight in this one, and really, there wasn't even too much of Moon Knight either. And I'm putting it at a C mainly because the cliffhanger kind of at the end, where like the big reveal of who was it? Not, I wanted to say Hunter's Moon, but it's like Midnight Man, I think. Yeah, the Midnight Man. We got the reveal on who the Midnight Man was, and it was kind of a cheap kind of cop-out reveal of who it was. So not a horrible issue, but really not a good issue at all, in my opinion, for Moon Knight. The other one then from Marvel, we've got... Where's Carnage? Carnage was good. Carnage didn't really have anything too spectacular going on in the issue. They focused on Carnage... Well, they focused on Cletus Cassidy and Kenneth Neely being in the diner the entire time. They're trying to figure out the next steps. It was a little slow as far as that goes. I don't like the new Carnage design. Well, maybe that's just Cletus Cassidy and his own little world design. Either way, not a huge fan of that. I think it looks okay. The action was great. The artwork is fantastic. Not a bad issue, though. But to me, it deserves a B. There's nothing really too special about it outside of the action, and even then, it still was pretty limited to what they did with it. Plot-wise, they didn't do anything with that either, besides kind of the same thing that they did with the last issue. Let's establish a plan. Let's figure out what we're going to do next. Let's take down Carnage once and for all. Very generic, very whatever. But then we got Miles Morales. That's a tough one. This is a fun issue. I love the artwork. We're going to show you the artwork off again because they did a killer job on it. I didn't want to say the wrong name, but we've got Vincentini on the artwork. It's great art. I really like Ranim. I like how she still, despite Miles telling her, like, you know, I'm doing this because I want revenge. And he kept trying to ration with her, saying, no, Ranim, you don't have to do this. We can just, you know, talk about this. We can figure things out. And she said, you know what, Miles? No. I don't care. You're going to pay. Your family's going to pay. Your friends are going to pay. Everybody's going to pay because that's what I want. And that's what's going to happen because her character is literally like, I have never gotten what I want. Everything I felt that I deserved and I have wanted, I have never gotten. And now you trying to rationalize things to me. This means you're going to win again. And that shit is just not going to fly. I really liked it. And I love this series. I'm putting it at an A, but it's more of like an A minus. It's not a B tier book because I really enjoyed it. And I thought they did a great job with it. But it wasn't spectacular enough to make it to the higher end of the A. So I think it's more of an A minus. Kaiser, what's going on, man? Oh, what's up, y'all? Dang, what I missed this time, bro. You came at the right time. You did miss the reviews, so if you want to go back and catch those, you can. But we are on to the tier list. So that's everything for Marvel. I put Miles Morales Spider-Man at the A, more of like an A minus. Carnage was a nice B, and then Moon Knight, good old C. Miles is about to go straight to the D tier as soon as the Carnage event starts. Oh my... I blocked that out completely. I forgot to bring that up in the review. I didn't even bring that up right now. They made that comment. Yeah. To be continued in Carnage Reigns. Carnage Reigns Alpha sale starts in May. Yeah, I agree. Miles about to go all down the drain once that shit starts. All right. I want to bring the books up too, so we'll put those off to the side. Next up, we're going to do Red Zone. Actually, so I didn't have cover A. I actually have cover B for Red Zone. So this is cover B for Red Zone. I thought issue 2 was way better than 1. I think they did a good job with it. The little robot guy that's on the front, I thought that was the worst part about the issue. I wasn't a big fan of that at all. But overall, it really piqued my interest in the series, especially being halfway through already. I really like that. Instead of it being, we have who we pretty much came for. It's not the same girl. It's the daughter now, but we got her. She's safe in my possession. We need to make it out of Russia alive and in one piece. We need to make it back to the government or whatever that group is. They sent out a hit on our main character, but it's basically every assassin that's in Russia just came out of retirement, came out of hiding. They're locking and loading. They're getting their guns ready. And they're all coming after him from different angles. Like everybody that they showed all came at him in this issue. And I thought that was really cool. So to me, while the spy stuff still not the greatest in my opinion, not what I really love, this one gets a B. Not bad. A lot better than the first one. Not super great, though. Let's see. Then we've got... what do we got next? Let's do... we're going to do the new one from Boom Studios. The Seasons Have Teeth, issue number 1. I might have a hard time putting this one on the list because I'm looking at it right now. I got my B's. It's definitely not C. But I got Miles at the A. The artwork was phenomenal. I'll show you the artwork one more time for you guys. The artwork was great. This is a really unique concept that I feel as though has a lot of potential going forward. It was a lot of fun. I love how we got a nice backstory on our main character. Hey, Eric, what's going on, man? Unless if that's you, peacing out. Have a good night, buddy. Thanks for tuning in. I like the main character. I like the backstory on him. I like how we learned why he's in the photography. And the concept that spring, like all of the different seasons, is a monster that brings something different with them. And he's trying to take pictures. And does taking pictures cause any extra damage? We don't know a lot of stuff yet in this series. But I'm really excited for it going forward. And I honestly think that this is a well-deserved A as well. I think this one also is more of an A- type of a series. It's got a lot of potential. It really piqued my interest, and I'm really excited for the next issue. Have you read King of Spies by Millar? I will say that one was really good. I think I did finish it. I'm pretty positive I finished it because, well, it's been out for a while, but he kind of sacrifices himself at the end. I think that's the one I'm thinking of. But that was a really fun one too. Next up, we're going to be doing... actually, is that... no, we got Children of the Black Sun. King of Spies was great. King of Spies was great. Next up from Blaze, we've got Children of the Black Sun, issue number 4. Sorry about that. This was a fun one, too. Another really great issue. I don't think, as far as the stories go, or the issue goes, I don't think it brought anything new to the table. We finally did get to see the Black Sun itself, kind of the effect that the Black Sun has on the community, but we also didn't see that until the very end. So the next issue is going to be the crazy one. Some weird things did happen between the two adult main characters in this issue, and that was kind of an odd focus for a little while. We did get a little focus on the kids too, we got to see their perspectives change on some other stuff. But overall, while I really did like this issue, I will say that there wasn't a lot of new stuff to the series. Nothing was really expanded upon outside of the two adults doing whatever the hell that they did, and then the Black Sun coming up. So I think the next one's going to be the big issue, and I'm going to put this one's going to be a B+. I think this one's a well-deserved B+. There wasn't anything spectacular about it, but it did get me excited for the next one. It was a little bit on the slower side, and it was just kind of all the characters kind of like, ooh, the Black Sun is finally here. It's about to just B, it's about to come upon us. So that was cool. Excited for it. But as far as the issue goes, nothing special. Well, nothing special happened. Still a fun one. Great read. Moving into, we're going to do Chroma next. We're going to do Chroma. Chroma number 4. This is another really fun one. I'm not a big fan of the $7.99 price tag. I don't think I got my money's worth out of this issue, and I don't think I got my money's worth out of this series, but I think they did a good job wrapping everything up. I didn't like the 1-year time jump, and the other problem I had with this series is that it was so well done that 1-year time jump is just a cop-out to wrap the series up. Oh, it's 1 year later, and we're just going to finish everything up right here. There's a lot that's still, like, there's so much stuff going on in this world. The Other Kingdom, the Pale City, well, whatever is left of the Pale City, all the animals, the colors. There's so much stuff that could have been said in this world that we missed out on. So as far as a series goes, I'd probably put the overall series around a B- because while it was good, I'd hate to say it's severely overpriced, but $8 for an oversized issue, that does solely rely on the artwork. And the artwork is very nice. So that is some of the artwork. I showed it off earlier. But they didn't really develop any of the story. They didn't really develop any of the characters. They didn't really go in depth of basically anything. It's just what happens, what happened. That was pretty much it. I would have liked a lot more, and I would have liked a lot more out of this final issue too. But I love that Chroma got her revenge, and that was a really nice way to wrap the series up. It wasn't Chroma just went out and lived her life and said, you know, I'm free. I was caged and locked up all of those years at the Pale City. I can do whatever I want now, because she's kind of controlling these alligator, crocodile, lizard animals as well. She can communicate with them. I thought that was cool, but I would love to have seen more with that. So for that, I think this one also gets a B. Good ending. Nice way to wrap everything up. The year later kind of felt cheap to me. I didn't like how they didn't dive into anything. And I want to double check on it, but I feel as though it's kind of an open-ended... Yeah, it's kind of just like an open-ended just ending too. So it was all right. Do I recommend it? Not for that price. If you can get them in like $1 bin or maybe a half off where all the issues are like $3 a piece, absolutely. If you have to spend more than $17 to $20, if you have to spend around $17 to $20 on that series, I wouldn't pick it up. If you can get it for around 10 to 12, $13, that's worth the read. Then we're going to do Dark Ride next. I don't know if this is going to be a hot one for you guys, but I wasn't a huge fan of this issue. I thought it was okay. It was the slowest one in my opinion as far as the overall series goes. And I always say, you know, they do need to have these types of issues where you get a little bit more backstory, you get a little bit more plot development, you get to see where all the characters are and what their game plan is going forward. But everyone seems to be in different directions. You got the brother who's slowly figuring out what's going on in the amusement park. You got the sister who doesn't particularly give a shit about any of that. She wants the spotlight. The dad is MIA, but we did get a backstory on the dad in this one. And the brother discovered something new to the park. So for those, it was cool. But at the same time, nothing really special about it. This one gets a C in my opinion. So I hope that one doesn't piss a lot of you guys off, because I know a lot of people do really love Dark Ride. I love it as well. It's a great read, but I don't know. Nothing too special about that issue. Then we got this one from Image. The giant Kokju. Kokju, I don't even know how you say it. Remember, so everything that everybody was saying earlier where they actually show this giant kaiju monsters package, that's the scene on the back, and they cover it up with a little Image emblem. They go very in depth with it. It's a very unique issue, I'll put it that way. I'm not going to be talking about it all again because I was kind of at a loss of words on how to describe it earlier. But I really liked it. With all that being said, I did really like it. It's going in the A. It's a great issue. It's a really weird one. Wacky. Big fan of it, though. Now we've got... All right, cool. I just want to make sure I was caught up in chat. Looks like we're all good, folks. All right. Next up, we're going to do Little Monsters. One thing I love about this series, I always talk about it, one thing I love about this series is the intros. They always do a phenomenal job on the intros. But with this one, this intro isn't on one of the vampires. It's on a character that we haven't really gotten a lot of story on to begin with. It's the uncle. It's the one that took the other, one of the twins hostage. He killed the one twin and took the other one hostage. So we got a little bit of a story on him. It was okay, but you got to see how he is just treating all the vampires. He says, you know, he's taking care of his niece. I don't remember her name off the top of my head, but he's like, you know, these vampires, they killed your mom and dad. I have to take care of you now, and we're going to get revenge on them, whether you like it or not. I'm sorry that you're friends with them, but I like them gearing up for that big kind of ending. That's what basically the entire issue was. The uncle, the vampire was released, went back to the other vampire clan, let them know that, I think his name is Finnick. Finnick is on his way, and that's where that story is going to be going. So the final issue is probably just going to be a big fight between the vampires and the uncle. With that being said, it was a slower issue, and the reason I loved all the other ones was because of the intros, and because this intro was just a little bit lacking, because it was just the uncle who we don't really care or know a lot about to begin with. I'm going to put this one... where is... Oh, this little monster. I'm going to put this one... This one's tough. I'm going to put that one right there. Actually, I'm going to put it under red zone. It's kind of like a B-, in my opinion. What do you guys think about that one? Is that like a B- to you guys? Let's see. I want to make sure. There we go. Yeah. All right, cool. All right. There we go. I just want to make sure it was still good. All right. Next up, we're going to be doing Radiant Black. Guys, I've been talking about it. This is one of the Radiant Black issues that I've been waiting for a very long time. I stand by. I said it earlier. I'll say it again. If you're interested in this series, if you like Power Rangers, you like kind of space fighting, shit like that, get it in a hardcover, get it in trade paperback. Don't buy this monthly. It's just not that good monthly, in my opinion. There's a lot of slow issues. There's a lot of different plots going on. There's a lot of different characters. Read it in a trade. Read it all at once. Bang out trade like that. That, to me, is the best way to read this series. However, with this particular issue, a lot of stuff that they've been building up to has finally happened. The giant robot that came down to Earth, the yellow Radiant character, finally figured out what's going on with that. That's what led to everything else. And now the other robots, they are coming to Earth. It's going to be an epic battle going forward. I'm really excited for it. But with that being said, I think this is a high B. It's not an A spot, but it's definitely a high B. It's like a B+. This is a B+ that could potentially sneak into the A. Then we've got... Oof. Got some good ones coming up. Chat, we got some good ones coming up. I need some water for these. All right, everybody. All right, here we go. Next one we're going to talk about, folks. We're going to go with Phantom Road. We got Phantom Road number 2. Some Jeff Lemire goodness. Huge fan, Jeff Lemire. Really big fan of the story so far. I like how it feels very unique, although it's not like the most unique thing in existence. It feels different. It feels like this weird, creepy, mysterious story that could also be a horror story. He's got a lot of different elements going on in this one right now, and every time I'm reading it, as I'm flipping through the book, I want more. I want to learn more. I want to know what these monsters are, the different kind of world or realm that they're in right now. How did they get there? What are the totems, like from the car accident from the first issue? What is that thing? Who is this person that's in the diner? Why is the diner even there? There's a lot of stuff happening. And that's why I always say, with Jeff Lemire, you got to see the stories through. You got to keep reading to figure out the stuff. He's not just going to lay it on you in the beginning. He wants you to keep going in his stuff. But I did really enjoy it. I'm going to put this one also at an A. This one deserves an A. I really liked it more than the Seasons book, but the Season 1 was great too. Lost in Comics will be interviewing Jeff Lemire tonight. Oh, dude, that's awesome. I'm gonna see about popping that one in there, or see about popping in there to watch that. Do you know what time it is off the top of your head? And then next up, let's go Nocterra. We got Nocterra. This is issue number 12. This is cover A, or 13, I'm sorry. This is cover A. Another one. Huge fan. All right, well, that's good because I'll definitely be done by 7. So you guys can pop over there and check them out. I've never watched any of their stuff, so that's going to be a first for me. So we got Nocterra. This is issue number 13. I absolutely love this series. I love the artwork. I got to show you guys the artwork again. I love... did they show that in the last issue? I don't think they did. Oh, they didn't show any of this in the last issue. I don't know if I can show any of this. Actually, I can show this one. This is the artwork. I love the artwork. There was a few things that they showed in the early pages, and I didn't want to spoil that for you guys. I love the plot progression. I love the monster horror just theme that they have going on. They've done an incredible job with it. To me, this is an S tier series. This is an S tier book. The whole series is an S tier in my opinion, but I love what they did with it. We finally got to see Eos. Blacktop Bill's got some new crazy stuff going on. Nox, you know, the big creature that's apparently coming to Earth, whatever. Nox was finally shown. I don't think they've shown Nox before, but they finally did. At least I think they finally did in this issue, and there's a lot of good stuff. We found out how Bill got kind of the new powers. I love it. No Nemesis for me, my friend. I have not read the first volume of it, and I know a lot of people said you could hop on to the new one, but I'd like to read the first one first and then hop into this new one, so sadly I didn't pick that one up. But I've heard it's fantastic. So Nocterra is an S tier. World Tree, issue number 1. This is another really unique one. I really enjoyed it. I like the artwork. I'll show you a safe page again. There's not too many safe pages in this one. They called it basically the Undernet. It's like the dark web, and there's a whole group of people who are trying to recreate a new civilization, like the evolution of humans, like the next step in humans. It's a very weird story. I'm going to be putting this one, I think, at an A. Was it better than Phantom Road? It was. So now, the new Nemesis is a reboot. Wait, I thought the new Nemesis was like a volume 2, not a reboot. Mark McGrath, I was wondering the same thing, but kept my mouth shut. I feel like anytime I bring up recommendations, so nah, dude. Mark Millar's got some really good shit. That sadly, please bring back weekly. I don't have much time during. Man, see, that's the only thing, John. Is I mean, I totally get it. The top 10 list was always a lot of fun for me, but that came down. I don't know if I had the time or have the time to do all that editing and all that other stuff too. So as of now, I'm probably going to continue on with this for a little while and go from there. But based on, you know, some votes I've done, I had a poll up. A lot of people seem to really like the live stream. And plus, live stream's a lot of fun for me. So I hope everyone in chat right now does enjoy this, at least. I understand a lot of people don't have time for everything. But it's like it's tough for me to find that happy medium that just satisfies everybody. So the last one I'm going to be talking about, and this one is my top read of the week. We got 8 Billion Genies. This is cover C. This is the 8th and final issue. I loved it. I loved how they wrapped this series up. I love how they brought everything together. I'm happy to see that the focus was a little bit more kind of on the genies and then what you learned about it all. It was phenomenal. I truly think that they did an incredible job on this. And reading this, it almost makes me feel as though I have to go back and reread the rest of the series, because knowing what I know in this final issue, I think I have to check out the rest of it again and see if that's going to change my perspective on anything. I want to see if maybe they put any sort of hints anywhere, if they put clues, stuff like that. But it was phenomenal. I hope everyone else truly enjoyed this one. Charles Soule written this one. Ryan Brown did the artwork. I had an absolute pleasure reading this one. This was a great read, and for that, it's an absolute S. This is an S tier book. I love the artwork. I love the story. I love the way that they wrapped it up. Just from start to finish, on this issue specifically, they did an incredible job. The rest of the series, there was some parts, like I said, the time jumps, I wasn't a huge fan of that, but like I said, knowing what I know now, I think I have to go back and reread it to see if there's any little hints floating around to see some of the other stuff. Was freaking hilarious and should definitely be top 5 pick of the week. Where did I put it? Oh, I put it back here. It was really good. I did really enjoy it. The thing is a lot of these books are kind of on the same level to me. It was very unique. I'll put it that way. It was an A tier book. It was very good. But that's it, folks. That is a wrap on all the books. That's top 10 list. I told you I was probably going to be sweating by the end of it. Hot in this house. You got some hot books this week. It was a lot of fun. I love doing this live stream with you guys. But if you guys want to go back to the top 10 list, we'll see how that goes. I love doing the live streams, and it kind of works a little bit better with my schedule. So we can talk more about that. Join a Discord. If you guys have Discord, I think we have like 25-ish members in there right now. We're all hanging out. We all talk. But seriously, I love your opinions on this stuff. This channel is for you guys. I don't just do this for my own sake. I love talking comics with you all. I love being able to share my opinions. I love hearing your opinions. And I personally felt the live stream was the best way to go about that. Because, if I do a video, I post a video, you guys can comment all you want. But do I get to all the comments? I read everything, but do I ever respond to every single comment? I don't, and that's on me. I get busy doing some other stuff, but I love having this engagement with everybody else. It's a lot of fun. Nah, Eric, you the man. Nah, you all rock. I love you all. Chat, you guys are always rocking. You're the best. It says, if Moon Knight was the worst book you read this week, you had a pretty great week. I absolutely did have, in my opinion, this was an incredible week. It was a blast. It was a great time. I love doing this stuff, like I was saying. And thank you again, everybody. Like I said, I got the Discord up there. I've got my links down below. If you guys didn't know, I do a live stream with the EXP every Wednesday, 6 p.m. EST. So tune in, next Wednesday then. If you're interested in helping support the channel, I've got my Patreon listed down below. You get early access to videos. I might be doing different types of videos in the future, but like I said, right now, with the time that I do have, live streams work the best with my schedule, and I love talking comics with you guys. We got some people that love the live streams, love the tier list. No, but seriously, thank you all so much. I hope you had a good time watching this video. I hope you enjoyed your books that you picked up this week. I want to know which ones you got as well. And thank you again, everybody. Love you all. Stay safe. If you didn't already grab your books, go get your new Comic Book Day books. Support your LCS. And we will see you in the next one, Sunday. See you guys.